See what the cards have for you. Okay, so a bunch of them just popped out. I have 5 cards already. I need 5 more. Okay, so let's see. 5 of Swords, reverse, 5 of Pentacles, upright, Knight of Swords, reverse, the 7 of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, upright, the Devil, the King of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands. Okay, so while waiting for 2 more cards, I am just going to give you a brief overview of what I see first before the 2 other cards come out. So we have 2 fives, 5 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles. So there is conflict. You know, 5s are indicative of a standoff, a conflict between you and another person. It can signify disagreements. The 5 of Swords in the reverse position next to a Pentacles card, especially another 5 of Pentacles, indicates that there are going to be a little bit of a financial dip for this month. Okay, so whatever it is that you were hoping for in terms of, you know, a swift victory, a contract, a payout, when it comes to like even a court settlement, for example, when it comes to like finalizing your divorce and looking for alimony, or even like selling a property, a house, and things like that. Okay, I do feel that swift victory, that really swift payout when it comes to your finances and getting your finances in order as well, coming in early for this month. That doesn't mean it's going to, you know, reverberate throughout the month. I do feel that this financial situation, first of all, finances needs to be reined in, okay? And also, you know, as a Gemini, as an air sign, you are very resourceful. So you have more than enough at your disposal right now. And I know that, you know, in the US, it is the fourth and family members and going to all these functions. So it is going to drain your financial resources, okay? So that is one way that you can mitigate the effect, just by being a little bit more, I guess, balancing the books a little bit more and setting aside and being realistic about how much you have versus how much you want to spend, okay? So there is an energy here of, you know, swift travel, swift communication, and even like a lot of opportunities for you to get out there and socialize as well. It is in the reverse position, so I do feel there is a sense of obligation associated with it, okay? So it might be family functions that you cannot miss out on, mainly because, you know, you are emotionally invested in the situation. So there could even be like marriage types of situation that or even, you know, just family gatherings in general, where you have to buy gifts, you have to buy like presents for whoever it is that is throwing the party, and you're just like, I don't really want to go because it is going to drain me. Okay, so just rest assured that your presence, honestly, I do feel that your presence is going to be more than enough to appease the other party. They invited you for you, not because of, you know, whatever tidings or whatever gifts that you're bringing. So keep that in mind. And I know that one of the dangers I've seen a lot with Geminis, and especially when you're shown up in the reverse position, is you do like you tend to be a little bit extravagant, okay? And it's and there's nothing wrong with that if you have the financial backing. But I do feel that you know, taking a once over at the checkbook or your bank account every now and then will be like a good reminder for you to get in the habit of like reining in your expenditures and to be realistic about how much it is that you actually have, so that you can budget yourself accordingly. So for example, if you were to look at your bank statement at the beginning of the month, towards the middle of the month, and at the end of the month, you start to forget how much is, you know, leaving and how much is coming in. So I hope that makes sense. So like I don't know, have it on your phone, have it somewhere where it's accessible, where you can look at it every few days, for example, will allow you to make better, a little bit more cautious and um, better informed decisions when it comes to expenditures, okay? So that situation itself, not to worry. I do feel it is going to lift by the first week or so, and then by the second week, you are going to like take a very serious assessment of what it is that you have. Okay, and even like I feel that a lot of invitations are in the works for you, and you are, you know, traveling about, trying to accommodate everyone, trying to meet everyone, and it seems like a little bit exhausting. Okay, so reserve the time to yourself. And I do feel coming in the second week, you're going to end up at a place where you're looking at whatever all these family obligations, all these social functions, all these things that you have to take care of, all your expenditures, or all the necessary bills that you have to pay, and you're going to like it's kind of like an eye opener. Okay, so you're being a little bit more realistic coming in by the second week, and you are just picking and choosing what is top priority for you. Okay, so that energy itself is going to be more than not only is it financially like liberating, it's also like for your mental health is much better for you. So instead of like running around all over town, traveling all over the place to see everybody that is marginally related to you, you are going to like take stock of who it is that you want in your life, and you are going to devote the time that you spend with them. So it's not only good for your mental health, it also protects you from, accidents, encountering, from being too frazzled, where, you're kind of stressed out and your social interactions are not at top quality. So taking the time off and figuring out what matters to you and who it is that you really want to see will narrow down and will like alleviate a lot of the stress and the pressure you're feeling on this on this front. Okay, so the people that are important are the ones that you're going to make time to see, and in the process you are going to be quite happy. Okay, so there's an element here of family reunions, of like reunions with old friends, reunions with people who might not be in your extended family but you consider to be family, because they're with you through thick and thin. um, Another really important indication of the Five of Pentacles is, if you look at this couple, they're both pretty cast out, and they don't have very much, but they're there for one another through thick and thin. So one of the main thing here is like picking your battles. Okay, all battles cannot be won, and as indicated by the Five of Swords, the Victory card in the reverse position, all battles cannot be won, but it is important to pick your battles. And if there are like, just differences in opinion with somebody who you really care a great deal about, just agree to disagree. And, since that issue is a hot topic for the both of you, just don't talk about it in the future. Okay, so it's sort of like knowing where you stand with the other person. So my rule of thumb in life in general is, and I have a Gemini rising too, and this is something that I've learned over the years. Um, you can't always like win intellectual or verbal debates. Okay, and as an air sign ruled by the planet of Mercury, you and Virgos are very like prone, I guess I should say, we and Virgos are very prone to like, arguing on technicalities and getting the other person to come to our point of view, and, trying to like relay information, trying to spread information so that the other person can come around to our point of view, because we do believe that our points of view are formed based on facts. Okay, so you're going to encounter situations in which people arrive at truths about themselves, about others, based on their life experiences. So you will encounter people who have a different upbringing, who are, they just think differently. So even though the facts are presented, people see things from different points of view. That's just the way human nature works. If everybody was the same, we'd all be like robots, and life wouldn't be interesting in our social interactions, because it would be incredibly boring, and I don't feel that you would want that. you know. So while you have this need to constantly, want other people to like come to your side of to agree with you and to like to win over opponents, for example, to spread the truth, and hopefully you feel that the truth should be more than enough to convert other people. I do feel that, I guess like perspectives are shaped by our upbringing, are shaped by our beliefs, and are shaped by our life experiences, okay? So if you have somebody in your midst who is like, usually it is a family member, because this is, I almost sense like it's somebody that you are over and over and over again, like you have run-ins with, and you are like very emotionally invested in. You care a great deal about this person, and the other person cares a great deal about you. But a lot of you might have gotten into situations where you and the other person just, you don't see eye to eye, and there were harsh words exchanged between the two of you. So, for example, if you are a female Gemini, I do feel that you might have like left the other person behind, and you're just like, I'm done with you. You don't agree with me. We have nothing in common. I'm done with you. But the reality is that person is the only one that is going to be there for you through thick and thin. Okay, if you are a Gemini male, I do sense that you might have like had a falling out with a person that was really dear to your heart, and it's because of harsh words that were exchanged, and your pride is also affecting this relationship in which you're not able to like give that apology. Okay, so you're hoping that, male and female, you're hoping that time will pass, and then the other person will come around, and I do sense that if there are things that you are regretful about, give the other person the apology. Okay, give the other person that sense of respect, that sense of like, okay, that sense that you're seeing the bigger picture, in that we don't always have to agree with one another. People will live their life the only way they can, and it is not our right to impose our belief system, our opinions. Even, it is not our, we are in no position to be preaching to another person. Okay? So I do feel that reconciliation, apologies are needed in this situation. And you are going to be quite amazed by how far that goes to get the other person to come back to you, first of all, or to like restore the harmony and the ties in that relationship. It can be a romantic relationship. I'm sensing it's related to family for a lot of you, like more than half of you related to family, and like a smaller amount, it is going to be like a love romantic situation in which you might have fallen out with the other person, and you apologize, not to rekindle, but mainly because it is the right thing to do, mainly because you want to acknowledge the other person's points of view. So it's sort of like telling the other person, we can agree to disagree because we come from different places. So in the process of apologizing to you, and in the process of doing that, it's sort of like you're acknowledging the other person's humanity. You're humbling yourself, and you're putting yourself in their shoes. So even though you don't disagree, you at least understand where they're coming from based on their upbringing, based on their life experiences, based on their worldview. So that is acknowledging somebody's humanity on a very deep level, rather than discrediting their life experiences as a contributor to the way they think at this present moment. So I hope that makes sense to you. That was a really strong, convoluted message that I needed to get across, and I hope that that makes sense to a lot of you. So I do feel that a sense of like humility is going to be required, in your social interactions for this month, and that's a very, very strong theme. For those of you who have been grappling with this, where you're just like where you don't you feel like there are constant clashes with you and another party, with you and other people who might be from a different life station, for example. It is just really important to like agree to disagree. And if it's like a hot touchy topic, don't bring it up, okay? We all have to draw boundaries, and that is in fact a very good way to draw boundaries with people, okay? Just say that, okay, I love you to death. We don't agree on this topic. So instead of bringing it up and, wasting time arguing over technicalities, over, who's right and who's wrong, let's spend the time productively, proactively, and, just catch up and, be happy for one another with our life station. So that is how you draw clear boundaries as I would recommend it for Virgos too. I've seen a lot of Virgos do this, and Virgos are a little more introspective, so I feel like Virgos have had to do this with many people, and that's the main reason why they're able to maintain like stable friendships, okay? So I feel that for this strategy will work very well for us Geminis. Um, so, that's something that you want to do, especially when it concerns like family members, when it concerns people that you love unconditionally, and you just can't for some reason agree with one another on one another's like life paths. Okay, so that's something that I would encourage you to try if this is an issue that you've been grappling with. Not only will it preserve your sense of well-being, it's going to like it's like therapy. It's like mental health breakthrough. Okay, so I hope like you actually, if you're grappling with this dilemma, try to set boundaries in that way. Okay, whoever it is, try to set boundaries. It will open like a very it will allow like a deeper, a more profound level of communication between you and another person once everybody acknowledges the elephant in the room. Okay, so once you are just like open, honest about what works and what doesn't, people will come around, and it's a very therapeutic form of like setting up boundaries in a way that's not offensive. So I hope that makes sense to you guys watching. um I do sense that a lot of you, let me see here. So we do have two prominent signs here. The first is an earth sign. The second is a fire sign. So I do feel that for those of you who are clashing with other people, for example, it is going to be predominantly with an earth sign. If you are like not seeing eye to eye with another person, I do feel it is an earth sign, like a Virgo, a Gemini, or a Taurus, and I'm getting more of a Virgoan energy with this person. So it can be male or female, but what I'm sensing is, once again, with Geminis and Virgos are both ruled by the planet Mercury, so communication styles are quite similar. But the thing about Virgos is that as an Earth sign, Virgos are very intuitive as well. So you feel that there are gaps in their reasoning, so you tend to over-explain. So the communication already is a little bit off because of it, because of the way you process information, okay? You might communicate the same way, but the way you process, the way you make sense of the information is going to be different. So when it comes to communication with an earth sign, in general, I do feel that you're thinking that the other person is jumping to conclusions, the other person is premature, but actually they process it in a very intuitive way, and it is going to be like, I would say it is going to be a little bit faster than the way that you're arriving at information. And you're also in the reverse position, so it's like arguing over apples and oranges. You're comparing apples and oranges, so it's not going to be conducive for anything. So I do feel that this person will actually bring about a lot of great ideas. They have very profound insights. They also, for those of you who are thinking about approaching possibly like an investor, I do sense that this investor is going to be on your side, but you have to refine the way you communicate and refine the way you process the information first in order to like touch on all the bases, because it seems like the earth sign is very, very thorough. Okay, so they're very thorough, and they're just they're very systematic. So they need somebody that doesn't jump the gun, and that does thing in an orderly way. Okay, so a little bit of like organizational skills, upgrading your organizational skills, or being a little bit more organized and less frazzled this month is going to be in order for you to somehow impress this earth sign. A lot of you might be romantically linked with an earth sign who you've had like multiple run-ins with, and you're just like, okay, maybe this is the right person for me, and then somehow I feel that there's an element of excuse me, there's an element of like long distance here. So it could be him or her, like the earth sign, traveling long distance to see you. You could be traveling long distances to see this earth sign, and there's a little bit of like a rekindling, like your passion is being stirred. Okay, your your ability to feel like alive and to feel carefree and to feel almost like that puppy love type of energy, that is coming in the works here. And I do sense at this point, I do feel that a lot of you in general, because of the way you've been handling your finances, you are actually very fascinated by people that handles their finances really well. And you're going to start to see that this earth sign has a lot of good qualities in a potential mate, in a friend, or even in an investor that you admire. And as a result of it, you are very, very fascinated and like taken, just like what is that word where you're just like intrigued? Yeah, you're intrigued by this earth sign because of the way they handle everyday life things, their practicality, their sense of like financial responsibility. You are just, fascinated. Okay, so I'm sensing a lot of passion associated with this card as well. So a lot of you might be like feeling very infatuated by of an earth sign. Okay, and one of the reason why I mentioned that up front is because it's front and center. This is your card. I usually start out by looking at the card to see if the sign shows up. And underneath it is this earth sign. So a lot of you are going to be like, your argumentative self, I would say, is going to be like put on the back burner in this person's presence just because they're so mellow and they're so laid back and they're so accepting of other people. So in general, Capricorns, Virgos, and Taurus, um, Capricorn and Taurus are very, very accepting. Virgos, Virgos love people, humanity as a whole. But like Virgos are not as accepting as like Capricorn and Taurus. Capricorn, Taurus are quite easygoing, are very like mellow, live and let live. So in this person's presence, they have like such a calming influence on you. So, like I mentioned earlier, at the beginning of the month, everything seems very busy for you. So you're feeling very, very frazzled, okay? So you're just like stressed out. There are so many things that you have to see. So many people that you have to see, so many things that you have to do, so many trips that you have to take to try to accommodate everyone and to try to meet up with everyone. So don't do that, okay? Because in the process of doing that, you might miss out on opportunities to catch up with this one person that you hold very close to your heart, okay? And then on the other end, I do feel that a lot of you might be dealing as well with a fire sign. So a fire sign, I feel like you and this person have a lot of fun together, okay? It can be in any type of an interpersonal relationship. You and the fire sign get along very, very well with one another, but there are differences in the way in lifestyle. There are differences. And I do feel that you were hoping to, fire signs are fiercely independent, okay? And and stubborn as well. Okay, so one of the thing that I'm sensing here in a fire sign is an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They're also very live and let live, but in a different way. They're fiercely independent, so other people's actions do not really have bearing on their lives. And this person is a younger energy, so it could be somebody that is a little bit younger than yourself. It could be a child that you're dealing with. It could also be like like younger siblings, nieces, nephews. In that context, it could be someone that you were once romantically involved with, or somebody that you're in a partnership with as well. Or it could be, you are choosing between fire signs and earth signs, and for some reason, you're grappling with the choices. But one thing about this fire sign person, in whatever context you're dealing with him or her, um, this fire sign is a bit, it's a it's a handful. And what I mean by that is he or she is definitely not a bad person. They're showing up in the upright position, okay? So they're not a bad person, but the thing is that they're fiercely independent, and the more that you try to control, the more they will rebel. Okay, so the swift victory here on top of this fire sign means that, you know, it's not even a stalemate. I feel that there's a sense of defeat when it comes to dealing with this fire sign, okay? So if that's something that you can't fix, and if it's like happening over and over again, take what I advised earlier, which is, agree to disagree, move forward, okay? If it's in a romantic situation and you're debating between the two, I feel that you would be a little more compatible with the earth sign. Okay, so while physically it's exciting to be with the fire sign, I do feel that the earth sign, the physical attraction, the spark, the fascination, it takes time to develop, because he or she is not going to display I guess, like, they're not going to show their cards. It just takes a little bit longer to get to know this earth sign in order for you to realize, oh my gosh, this person is quite a catch. So, that's something to keep in mind, okay? And we do have these two cards that signify the same theme, which is you have there I would say, like, majority of you have a relationship where you don't see eye to eye, a very deeply rooted relationship where you can't extract yourself from one another. So it is important to distinguish between, a relationship that feeds the ego versus the relationship that feeds the soul. Okay, so what I mean by feeding the soul is that when you're in a jam and, who do you call up? Okay, the ones you call ups are the one that will be there for you through thick and thin, okay? No matter whatever context you're dealing with that person in. So that's like the relationship that feeds the soul. Whereas, like, you're trying so hard to make it work, but then you don't get along, and then it's like multiple breakups, multiple makeups, and things like that. So distinguish between the two. And I do feel that for a lot of you, unknowingly, I do feel that for a lot of you, the fire sign might be the ones might be the one that actually feeds your soul, and the earth sign might be the one that you're addicted to, that you're just really fascinated by, that you're just like really enthralled by, okay? But when it comes to relationships, like romantic relationships, um it could be, one way or the other, but it is important for you to realize, like, which sign would be a better fit for you, in terms of establishing a stable lifestyle. So if the fire sign has always been there, but they don't want the same things in marriage, obviously you're not going to want to get involved in that situation, because, they're not going to change. I feel like they're not going to change. They're not going to change their opinion, and their lifestyle is pretty much like set in stone. They will only change on their own accord, and they can't be convinced, okay? Whereas the earth sign can be a little bit more willing to compromise on these things, okay? So I hope that makes sense for you, and I do hope that, take it easy this month and try to avoid rushing into things too fast before you really get to know, to get, like, the lay of the land. Um, avoid like accidents too. Like, don't move too fast, don't drive too fast, don't overbook yourself or over like schedule. And I do feel that in general things are going to be very good for you actually. Okay, so on the home front, there are a lot of reunions, and I do feel it is going to be a very, very nice month for you. It's a little kinetic starting out for the first week and a half or so, but things will start to stabilize for you the rest of the month. So take some time off and enjoy yourself.